Thursday, July 17th, 2014, and it seems oddly appropriate, considering my subject matter, that I'm recording this little video blog on a Thursday, Thor's Day. I'll get to that in a minute. Please ask any viewers to forgive my surroundings. I'm visiting my brother today when I record this, and there's some contracting going on here, some renovations to the house, and I was looking for a quiet spot where I could sound off at you all. Now, our subject matter today, on the 17th of July, is the recent decision by Marvel Comics to make their character the Mighty Thor, Hammer, star of 2 movies plus the Avengers, one of the most kick-ass films I've ever seen, into a female character, into a woman. Now, I have some pretty serious doubts about that, and my inner cynicism is coming out as well. And here's why. Okay, if Marvel Comics is trying to make this character more appealing to young women these days, the comic book readers of the fair sex, maybe they'd be better off trying to come up with strong female characters than taking old established characters and making them into women, this sort of thing. Thor is traditionally a big, blonde, Viking sort of fella, you know, manly man, not a woman, no matter how pretty or attractive or butch they make her, you know, this sort of thing. Now, I have 3 points to make in regard to this. The first one is, I remember back in the 1980s when the best living Thor writer, Walt Simonson, writer, artist, you know, and he was very much into the old myths. He tried to tie the comic book into Norse mythology as much as he could. He made a few small changes to Thor. One thing, he gave him a beard, which is much more mythologically accurate for Thor, and the writer who took over from Walt Simonson, then Marvel Comics editor-in-chief Tom DeFalco, that beard was gone in 2 panels of the first full issue that he wrote, so these changes don't tend to last the next writer. The second thing is, in 1999, Alex Ross, a wonderful painter actually, painter-writer of comics who had done Marvel Comics DC Comics award-winning Kingdom Come miniseries, you know, about basically the Image Comics universe as it then existed, entering into the DC universe and dealing with the iconic heroes that we all grew up on: Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman, Captain Marvel, that sort of thing. How they would be interpreted faced with a very bloodthirsty threat like that in the early 21st century, the 1 in 20, you know, and it was good stuff. So Marvel Comics asked, or actually Wizard, then Marvel Comics asked Alex Ross to come up with his similar take, his futuristic take on the Marvel Comics characters. And one of the things that he came up with was a female Thor character. So this business that Marvel Comics is doing now about making Thor into a woman, well, it's kind of been done before. I don't know how well received Alex Ross's treatment was, but if Alex Ross versus the current Thor writer are going to be well received, given the mystique, the mana surrounding Alex Ross, the respect that he has in the industry. I bet his was received better, and it was kind of a blip on the screen and then it faded away. So Thor as a woman has been done before. The third point that I'd like to make is this. No comic book interpretation of Thor has been 100% accurate to the old myths anyway. If Thor was going to be as accurate as possible to the old mythology, he'd be early to middle age, married, Lady Sif, with golden hair, not black, gold, was his wife. He'd have 2 sons, Magni and Modi. He would travel around on a cart pulled by two goats, Tangastner and Tarngrisner, Tooth Gnasher and Tooth Grinder, whom Thor could kill and eat every night, and then by waving his hammer over their skins filled with their bones every night, bring them back to life. Thor would have an iron mitt called Jarngripar. He would have a magical belt that doubled his physical strength, and he would also have a short-handled hammer, Mjolnir. And this is how you pronounce the name, Mjolnir, not like they've done in the Thor movies. And Stan Lee, creator of the character, and this is one sign that you have that they diverged from the myths when they created the comic book character. Stan Lee says it's a made-up word. No, it's not. It's a mythological and historically accurate word, and it means to grind or to crush. And in the old myths, when Thor threw his hammer Mjolnir, possibly the greatest throwing weapon in human mythology, that was the flash of lightning. And the sound of Mjolnir hitting something, that was the crack of thunder. Boom! Explains storms, right? Okay, and the sound of thunder was also the wheels of his cart pulled by a tooth gnasher and tooth grinder rolling about. Now, as for Thor himself, he'd be a big fellow built like a linebacker or a strongman with bristly red beard that would give off sparks when Thor was angry. He didn't have long blonde hair like the comic book Thor does. So anyone who would claim that Thor As A Woman is a homage to the myths, or that Marvel Comics has always tried to be accurate to the myths, but they're trying something new, well, that's a load of malarkey, because Thor has never been accurate to the myths in any of his incarnations, even his incarnations from other companies. I remember Image Comics' pitiful attempt to create Thor. He had he looked like a superhero. Thor isn't a superhero. He's a mythological strongman. He's the enemy of the frost giants and the trolls and the Ettins and all the symbolizing the merciless power of nature in Norse mythology. He was a very popular god too, I might add, bringer of rain, justice. Thor's Day, today, Thursday, is statistically the most beneficial day, the best odds-making day to have a wedding. However this works out, statistically, weddings held on Thursdays last longer, have the most happiness, have the most children, things like that. So I don't expect this Thor As A Woman to last. I expect the fanboys and everybody else to get all up in arms about it, but it doesn't matter what the fans say or anything else. The vote is with the dollar. And as soon as the sales figures go down, somebody will be beating on the door of the writer of Thor with an axe saying, change your back, change your back. Besides, the movies have Thor as a man. Traditionally, Thor is a man. You know, Thor as a woman, it ain't going to last. So there's my 2 cents weighing in on a comic book topic. You know, it's a nice experiment. Have fun for a while, folks, but it ain't going to go. So until the next video blog, and who knows when that's going to be, have a good day, and happy Thor's Day.